And it's a fabulous good afternoon to you from me, Alex Nyman, and welcome to Jazz Club here on Arrow FM 92.7. I'm really looking forward to bringing you some wonderful music over the next hour and a half or so, or about an hour and 50 minutes. And I'm going to kick off with a fantastic track here by Tim Garland and Jason Rebello, and this is called Bright New Year. that's a beautiful, beautiful track there by Tim Garland and Jason Rebello. Araf Sirikis and Law also featured on that track, and that's from Tim Garland's album called One, featuring Jason Rebello on piano. Fabulous saxophone player. Love Tim's playing. Absolutely wonderful. You've heard him on here quite a few times before. Anyway, let's carry on with the rest of the programme. I've got lots of fantastic stuff coming up for you. Got Vincent Herring, Dick Oates, Joan Chamorro, and Don Braden, Scott Wendholt, and the Rivingtons and Dave Carrs, Moni James, and just heaps of really good music. In fact, I was just checking through one of the tracks, and the title is "I'm a Fool to Want You." I think what they mean is "I'm a fool to want you," but they must have got. I think because it's actually from Joan Chamorro, and I think this is Portuguese Brazilian, and I guess that's not how they would really sort of say "I'm a fool to want you." I think they'd say "I'm a fool to want you," but I'm actually practicing at the moment my Hungarian accent, and I'm sort of confusing it a little bit with Russian at the moment, so I'm trying to get over that. What I think the Russians would probably say "I'm a fool to want you," and I personally would say "I'm a fool to want you." Anyway, it's a fantastic track. I've been talking about it so much. Let's just play the darn thing, shall we?
I'm a fool to want you. I'm a fool to want you. To want a love that can be true. A love that's there for others too. I'm a fool to hold you, such a fool to hold you, to seek a kiss, not mine alone, to share a kiss that devil has known. Time can I still leave you. Time can I went away. But then would come the time when I would need you, and once again this word I had to say. Take me back, I love you. Pretty me, I need you. I know it's wrong, it must be wrong, but right or wrong, I can get along without you. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, heaven, I'm in heaven. And the curse that hung around me through the week seems to vanish like a gamble, like a streak, when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain or to reach the highest peak, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, mama, dance with me. I want my arms about you, the times about you will carry me through heaven. Oh, heaven, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And it seems to find that happiness I see when we're all together dancing cheek to cheek. About you will carry me through to heaven. Oh, heaven, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And it seems to find that happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to. When we're out together dancing cheek to cheek.
Cheek to Cheek, and that was Eva Fernandez with the Joan Chamorro and the rest of the guys in the band, basically. And it's the whole concept of that particular organisation, if you will, is called the San Andrew Jazz Band, and it's quite a well-known organisation now that producing some incredible young talent. And if you check them out on YouTube, ANDREU, San Andrew Jazz, you will find lots and lots of great videos there from the guys, and absolutely amazing. Well worth checking them out. Really, really excellent. Okay, let's carry on with some. Before I do carry on, I just need to tell you. I've just popped over to, before I started the show, I was just over at Music Works here in Marston. They do a fabulous job providing the Wairarapa and the South Wairarapa with great musical equipment, and they're not actually sponsoring me. Maybe they should. I'll have a chat with them. Anyway, I did actually have a chat with them, but it was about something else. And while I was in there, I had a little chat with a good friend of mine, Dave Berry. He's the guitar repairer there and electronics guy, and he's an absolutely fantastic fella. He's moved over to this way from Kapiti with the lovely Bridget, his partner, and they resident here in Marston. And he's actually been on one program recently with Stefan. Yes, Stefan, the guitarist there, he's on Jam Jar. That's right. He was on with Stefan on Jam Jar. talking about guitars and things like that, when I popped in today and I said, look, what about coming on my program and having a chat about jazz? You know, I mean, you're a local guy now, and, you know, you've got great history and all that sort of stuff. And so Dave gave me a little bit of a rundown on what he likes to listen to and people that he's met and so on and so forth. So I'm going to have him on as a guest in about 2 weeks' time, and we're going to have a fantastic program for you, talking to Dave about his past, his history, his playing history, and where he's been around the world and all the sorts of things he's done and people that he likes to listen to. And we're going to play some of that music for you as well. So a couple of weeks' time, do tune in. I hope you tune in anyway to the other programs, hopefully. And tune in, and you can listen to Dave Berry talking to me about his life, which will be fantastic, I'm sure. And he's also a really, really, really lovely chap, and he does fantastic work. So if you've got anything that needs repairing guitar wise, or you even want something built for you, he built me a wonderful battery pack for my electronic wind instrument, and it's fantastic. It's just amazing. He just pulls it out of thin air. He didn't pull it out of thin air, but he made it, and it looks great, and it's made my life much more comfortable, if you will. Yes. Okay. So anyway, let's move on. We're talking now about Vincent Herring. He's one of the great bebop alto saxophone players of recent years, and this is his rendition of "Have You Met Miss Jones?" And that was a great track there by, it's actually featuring Dick Oates, Don Braden, and Vincent Herring, as you've just heard him recently, or the track before that, playing alto, and all three are actually playing tenor on that track. Now, Don Braden is well known as a tenor player, but Dick and Vincent are, I guess, more widely regarded as alto players. But as you can hear from that particular track, they are also pretty darn good tenor players as well. Okay, so let's have a little look through the playlist. So I'm going to see what's coming up next. Actually, we just had something with Don Braden, and so I'm going to actually just move on a little bit from that. I'm going to go to a trumpet player, and he's one of my very favourite trumpet players. He's featured with lots and lots of bands, and well known as a solo artist. His name is Scott Wendholt, and this is a track from him, and it's called Birdlike. And if I just do that, yeah, do it. And if you didn't know better, you'd probably think this was a Vincent Herring special, because that was Vincent Herring on that track too, along with Scott Wendell, and lots of fabulous players. Really exciting track. That was You Don't Know What Love Is, and before that you heard a track called Bird-like, so both featuring Scott Wendell Quintet. And I've got some smooth jazz coming up, and before I play some of that, I thought I'd just remind you that coming up, well, it's not actually coming up soon, but as my dear old father always used to say to me, forewarned is forearmed, and it's about the Jazz in Martinborough Festival. Now that doesn't actually start until the last weekend in September, and I'm not too sure exactly, and it's the last weekend in September basically, so Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and it's well worth checking out. Some great acts are appearing there this year. I already know a few of them, as I am their executive at large. I go around and sort of try and listen to a few bands and recommend a few, so I've got a fair idea of who's turning up. Not exactly 100% sure on all of them at the moment, so I won't give the game away. The only person I really can probably say with any 100% conviction will be the Zach Dickfurt Sextet, or otherwise known as the Zach Pack. Zach's fantastic. He's originally from Holland, and he's an absolutely delightful guy. How do I know? Because I play with the Zach Pack, and I've only done one gig with them actually so far, but it was very, very enjoyable, along with Chris Fox on trombone, Roger Fox's other brother, if you will, equally talented trombone player, and equally lovely guy, along with Anita Schwab and Nick Tipping on bass. And who else? Oh yes, can't forget Lance Phillip on drums. Lance is the head of music at the New Zealand School of Music, and he's an absolutely delightful chap as well. I think before that, the Jazz in Martinborough Festival, if I remember from last year, it's going to be the Wellington Jazz Festival. And I really have no idea who's working in that. I will undoubtedly get their big major program through long beforehand, and I'll be able to keep you up to speed with, if you don't know already, if you don't know by that time at least, I will have a fair idea of who's playing, and I will inform you about them and hopefully play some music by the various artists that are going to be playing there. Let's go back to some of that music, and as I was going to say, it's going to be some sort of slightly more smoother jazz now, a little more beaty, and this is a great track from the Rippingtons, and this is called She Likes to Watch. Dave Cos there, getting down, and getting down basically, I think, and but with Lee Ritner. A guitarist probably better known in the 80s and 90s. He's still going and he's still fantastic, and absolutely lovely. That was a track called Put the Top Down, and before that I played a track from the Rippingtons, as you heard there. She Likes to Watch, that was called. And I was thinking about things that are coming up that I haven't told you about, and one of the things that's coming up quite soon, and if you've got a chance to get along to MATS, the theatre company here in Masterton, they are putting on a show called The Ladies in Black, and you're probably wondering why I'm mentioning that in the jazz program. Well, the fact is, it's got some sort of jazzy music in it, if you will, not hardcore bebop and stuff like that, but it's kind of jazzy nevertheless. It's a very, very, very interesting musical. The music was actually written for it by Tim Finn, so I'm sure you all know him, and it's a great. And I've just been watching the film. Actually, you can download the film. It's a great film. Really love that, and some very interesting storylines in there, and it's a very touching, very moving film, which they created a musical therefrom, and it's going to be put on at the Mats, which will be, I think it's in it's in July. I'm not exactly sure of the dates at the moment. I'm sure if you checked online, you'll be able to find out exactly when that is. It's got some fantastic actors appearing in it, and it's going to be produced or directed, I'd probably say directed by Joanne Simpson, who is Michael Wilson's wife here at the Arrow FM. And yes, you might possibly, I can't say for sure, but you might even see a performance from Michael himself, and he is indeed an extremely talented, gifted actor, I would say, and it happens to be an extremely funny chap as well. And I love being here with Michael. He's an absolute hoot to be with, and we always have a bit of a laugh when we're together. And it's a really lovely working environment, and I'm so very happy and proud to know him. And anyway, let's move on from that. So that secured my job for the next year. I hope. I got my fingers crossed. And let's go on. Let's carry on with a little bit of that smooth jazz. And this is Boney James, tenor saxophone. Boney James. It's called "It's a Beautiful Thing," dedicated to Michael. Fabulous track there from Mike Turner, Don Braden, Jimmy Green, Andy Laverne, Steve LaSpina, and Billy Drummond. And that was the old Tad Dameron chestnut called Ladybird. And that's on an album called Jam Session Volume 9, and that's on the Steeplechase label. And really, really excellent playing there all around by those guys. And it's part of that sort of jam session thing that I played earlier on with Dick Oates and Vincent Herring and Don Braden. Same sort of thing like that. And anyway, let's move on. I've got how are we doing for time? I've got about 20 minutes or so. So I've got just enough tracks to see us through. And let's have a look. Oh, by the way, must remember to tell you that do log on to the Arrow FM Facebook page, because Michael is always writing rather nice bits and pieces on there for you, and like keeping up to date with what's going on here in the studios and future programs, etc. And it's always well worth clicking on there, and it's updating with all sorts of interesting bits and pieces. So if you have got time, just log on to Facebook and look up Arrow FM, and you'll see Michael's witticisms, no doubt, along with all some serious information, of course, about bits and pieces going up here in Marston and around the country, no doubt. And very, very interesting thing to check onto if you have the time. Got the time now to log on. I've got another Vincent Herring track. No, I'm not going to play that because I think we've had enough Vincent Herring for the moment. I'm going to leave Vincent back taking the A train, and instead I'm going to get on with David Hasseltine, not David Hasselhoff, David Hasseltine, and this is called A Walk in the Park. Certainly one of my favourite saxophone players of the moment, Tim Garland, and has been for quite some time actually, along there with Gwilym Simcock and Asaf Serkis, collectively known there as Lighthouse, and that particular track was called One Morning. And pretty much bringing me towards the end of my programme. As always, it's been a fantastic pleasure playing this gorgeous music for you. I do hope you've enjoyed the last hour or so, and I certainly look forward to your company next week if you've got the time to join me at 12:30 on here at RFM 92.7 on a Wednesday, and it's repeated on Thursdays at 7 o'clock, and also goes out on Thursdays on channel Wairarapa Channel TV 41, free to view, and that's at 12 p.m, 5 p.m, and 11 p.m. So if you'd like to see me on the television, and well, you might not, but that's fine. Just listen to it on the radio. That's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it does go out on the TV channel, so you can see me saying all this stuff to you. do check in a couple of weeks' time, though. If you can't make next week, certainly try and make the week after, because it's going to be Dave Berry here in the studio. He's a very, very interesting chap, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy that particular programme very much indeed. I'm just looking for the track to play you out with. I'm going to play you out with that wonderful trumpet player that I started the show with, virtually started the show with. His name is Scott Wentholt, and this is a track of his called Through the Shadows. Do have a great week, and be safe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.